Saturday, October the 5th, USKA Fight Sports returns to its home, the Parkview Inn on Bulldog Drive in Allentown, Pennsylvania, with another pro Muay Thai card. Get your tickets at USKAFightsports.com, USKAFightsports.com.
All right, I'm here at Cole Fetzner. Cole, we're talking about your fight coming up the October 5th in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Why don't you introduce yourself? Where are you from?
Hey, I'm Cole Fetzner. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I'm fighting on a West Side Muay Thai.
Good. Now, you fought for USKA before I was in control of things. So why don't you take us back to that fight?
The last fight that I took on USKA was, I think it was on 2 or 3 days' notice, and someone's opponent pulled out. I'm always in the gym. I'm always ready to go. So that fight was at 205, which is my fat boy weight class. If I don't diet at all, I can easily make 205. I walk around a little under that most of the time. So yeah, I went down there, put on a good show, beat the guy up for about 3 rounds, and yeah.
Well, was that a pro fight, amateur fight?
That was a pro fight.
That was a pro fight. And do you remember who that was against?
Nate, I believe his name, and I apologize if I get this wrong, but I believe his name was Nate Kennard.
Nate Kennard, yeah. That's right. And you won that fight. Now, was that, how many fights into your pro career was that? Was that your debut? Was that 1 or 2 fights in?
That was my professional Muay Thai debut. That would have been my 3rd or 4th professional fight if you count MMA fights. MMA fights.
Okay, good. So on that same night, Davis Oracio, I believe, fought on that card. And
yes, he did.
Yes, he did. And he won by a big knee knockout. So you're fighting Davis Oracio for the 185-pound Thai title. You reached out to me 6 or 8 months ago and said, I want to fight Davis. I can't do it now. I'm working on an injury. But why do you want to fight Davis so much? And how do you feel about the matchup?
First of all, I want to say I appreciate Davis as a fighter and as a person. When I came down for that short notice fight, he's always been a gentleman to me. When we've met and talked, he actually invited me to come out and eat with his team because I didn't have any teammates down with me when I did the weight cut. So yeah, I got nothing but respect for him, and there's a lot of respect in the game of Muay Thai. But I want to fight him because I want championships. I'm 33 years old. I want to move up the ladder as fast as I can. I want to fight the best guys that I can fight. And I've seen him starch 2 guys, 2 big knee knockouts. I've seen what he's capable of. I know what I'm capable of, and I want to take the belt from him.
Very good, very good. How do you see the fight going? How do you see the matchup? What are his strengths? What are your strengths?
There's a lot of different ways a fight could go, and if you're going to be a professional in this game, you have to prepare for all of them. So I have multiple different game plans that could all play out. He has great boxing. A lot of Americans down there. I'm well versed in going into enemy territory in the States. Everyone seems to have really good boxing down there, good boxing fundamentals. So his hands are dangerous, his knees are dangerous. He's a strong guy. He's the champion at 205 and 185. There's not a lot of things that you can say bad about him that's not going to just come off as me talking shit or talking nonsense. Because, he's been starching people in the USKA. So the only thing I can say is that I'm 3-1 as a professional Muay Thai fighter. My only loss is to Stephen Walker, who's a world 205 champion. And I believe I faced some of the stiffest competition that a man can face, and this just continues with that trend. I want to face the toughest guys. I'm not going to be one of those guys who's got a trumped-up record and hasn't fought anyone. I'm the guy who fights anybody and will take on all comers, and I go out of my way to find them.
Speaking of that, what is your biggest fight to date, highest profile fight, highest profile organization?
Highest profile organization would probably be my Fights of the Line fight. Like I before mentioned, I fought Stephen Walker, who's their champion. That one didn't go my way, but my last one was against another guy whose name I'm drawing a blank with right now. But Samuel Amadi, I think his name was.
Okay.
So yeah, I ended up getting a knockout in that fight. So yeah, that would be my biggest fight to date. But as I said, I'm 3-1. My career's just getting started. I'm going to add a lot more big wins to that resume, and this is going to definitely be the biggest one to date.
What was the injury you were coming off of, and how has your preparation been for this fight?
The injury I was coming off of was it was nothing serious, just a small little foot injury, some problems I had. I'm a carpenter, so I'm on my feet all day. So just general fatigue on the foot, had some plantar fasciitis. If you look into that, a lot of fighters who utilize a lot of footwork have the same issue. So yeah, had to take care of the body a little bit, take a little bit of time to reassess myself as a martial artist, and I believe I'm a much better fighter now for the time that it took.
That's awesome. But we first started talking about this fight when you were going through that. So you really do want this fight, and you saw yourself coming out on top of that as far as the foot injury. Now, what have you done special to prepare for Davis, or is it business as usual? We'll let him adapt.
I've been preparing for Davis since my good friend and training partner Ben Pry went down and he won the USKA title against Justin Greshwich. And Davis actually was fighting right before that. And I remember watching the fight. I was in the stands. I had a couple of drinks and I was watching that fight. And I said, man, I think I could take this guy. I think I could get in there and mix it up with this guy. So, that is where it all started. And that's where I feel that my career has been taking that path ever since that night I saw him fight. And like you mentioned before, I got to see him fight on the same card as me, and we've had a little bit of experience getting to know each other. Now we're really going to get to know each other.
Right, up close and personal. So, yeah, you have not only seen him fight, you've been in the building when he's had several of his fights and several of his knockouts. That's awesome, because I remember you were there for the Pride fight.
And as says he with me, he knows my strengths and weaknesses, so I don't need to go on and give him anything else to tell him what I'm going to do, because I have a good idea that he knows the strengths that I hold over him, and I'm a very self-aware fighter, and I know the strengths that he's bringing to the table.
Very good, very good. And you're very humble, and so is he. And you guys, I think you're going to be a great fight. I think you're really going to shock people how this matchup is going to go. I think it's going to be a great, exciting fight. Our last card, we just had a Canadian come down, Jared Carrier, and he fought a local guy, Brandon Masonette, and Carrier ended it with an elbow in the first round, just right to sleep. It was a nice little highlight video for us. But do you have any predictions on how this fight is going to end?
I think that this fight, like I said before, it could go multiple ways, but I see myself finishing the fight. I always see myself finishing a fight. I'm going to wear him down. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. I don't think there's a 185-pound fighter in the world right now that can keep the pace with me. I'm going to just push the pace, and it's either going to be get dominated for 5 rounds or get finished and take a way out.
Very good, very good. And not to put any pressure on you, but I think the Canadian pros are undefeated down here. Jared Carrier, Ben Pride,
myself.
Yourself, that's correct. Yeah. Well, I'm just going through the title fights. And who was it before Ben Pride? It's the biggest name. Oh my gosh, it's slipping my mind right now.
Matt Embry was down.
Oh, Matt Embry. Yeah. But all of them are undefeated in title fights. And of course, you're undefeated, and this is going to be a great fight. Anything you want to add before we sum it up? I think this went really well.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to USKA for the opportunity. Obviously, I love coming down there. I love having the connection with a fight organization that's willing to put on full rules Muay Thai the way that it's supposed to be done. And thank you to my opponent for signing on the dotted line and giving me a chance to showcase my skills.
Absolutely. Cole, it's a pleasure to have you, and I'll be seeing you in a few short weeks, and I hope the rest of your training goes well, and stay healthy, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks.
Take care.
Saturday, October the 5th, USKA Fight Sports returns to its home, the Parkview Inn, on Bulldog Drive in Allentown, Pennsylvania, with another pro Muay Thai card. Get your tickets at USKAFightsports.com, USKAFightsports.com.